Good morning, afternoon, evening. A lot of days, I am willing to say just about anything that comes to my mind. And sometimes I go on and on and on. And then I forget the core reason I was doing something because I am easily distracted and love to talk. I did this once, and if you can find that reaction, I admit I was not very silent. This time, I really will be, and I'll listen to it for what it is. For a majority of people, they take this as an exceptional anti war song, and I understand why. It's all there. My personal feelings aside, them things, they're on another reaction to this song somewhere else on the channel. They're unlisted, they're there, but they're just, they're put out for a little more hardier listener. If you can handle the song that I put the link in, then you could find the reaction. And I do not want to disrespect anybody. So, war is hell, and I'm not a fan. It just gets complicated because I'm a fan of being honest to myself.
When I was a young man, I carried my pack, and I lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time to stop rambling, 'cause there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun, and they sent me away to the war. And the band played waltzing Matilda as we sailed away from the quay. And amidst all the tears and the shouts and the cheers, we sailed off for Gallipoli. Oh, well, I remember that terrible day when the blood stained the sand and the water, and how in that hell that they call Suvla Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Johnny Turkey was ready, he primed himself well, he showered us with bullets and he rained us with shells, and in 5 minutes flat he'd blown us all to hell, nearly blew us right back to Australia. And the band played waltzing Matilda as we stopped to bury our slain, and we buried ours and the Turks buried theirs, and it started all over again. Now those who were living did their best to survive in that mad world of death, blood and fire. And for 7 long weeks I kept myself alive, saw the corpses around me pile higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me arse over tip. And when I awoke in my hospital bed and saw what it had done, Christ, I wished I was dead. Never knew there were worse things than dying. And no more I'll go waltzing Matilda to the green bushes so far and near. For the hang tens and pegs, a man needs 2 legs. No more waltzing Matilda for me. So they collected the cripples, the wounded and maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The legless, the armless, the blind and insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla.
I don't wanna. I hate to do it. To have 35 wounds and live is probably the record for the war, Lieutenant Casey. Wow. I would go back and read this, especially if you watch both, because I think that speaks to the nature. We're just talking about joking around still. It's very interesting.
The legless, the armless, the blind and insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla. And as our ship pulled into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where me legs used to be, and thank Christ there was nobody waiting for me to grieve and to mourn and to pity. And the band played waltzing Matilda as they carried us down the gangway, but nobody cheered. They just stood and stared, and they turned their faces away. And now every April I sit on my porch and I watch the parade pass before me. I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, reliving the dreams of past glory. I see the old men, all twisted and torn, the forgotten heroes of a forgotten war. And the young people ask me, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. And the band plays waltzing Matilda, and the old men still answer the call. But year after year, their numbers get fewer. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, ooh, go a waltzing Matilda with me.
Well, I'm very grateful it worked out the way it did. Uh, and down below are some links. Now, it's kind of weird how I work this out today. But there's a Sabaton song below here, and it's very heavy. But it addresses this battle the way this video did by showing kind of the both sides and something, a little deeper take on it. And that I didn't get my first take with the original artist doing it acoustically. So I was a little hard on it as a protest song. Not hard on it, but just shared my personal opinions. You know how this works. But I did want to give my respects as well. So I'm also going to put a link to a video. If you didn't see it, feel free to watch it. But on my trips, I like to stop and pay my respects. So just in case you're curious where my position comes from, it's not one of honoring past glories. I don't live in glory days, but I don't forget what people were asked to do. And then that's a whole nother debate. And if you found my other reaction, I explained it in there. So sorry to be vague and cryptic, but I'm still me. Links are below to what I'm talking about. If you found the other Sabaton reaction, I would search into the fire for my other take on this if you're curious, for the people who made it to the end. Later.